What's going on, guys? I'm Optimus Philip, and today I will be starting a mission. I am going to put a Kerbal on the moon and bring him back alive. Eventually. For now, I'm just going to kind of muck about, see what I can get done. So consider this a mission log of sorts. I got Kerbal Space Program just yesterday. It was something of a Christmas gift to myself. I've messed around a little, but I'm going to be starting a completely new file, and I am also still very new to this. So for all you experienced Kerbal Space Program players out there, prepare to cringe, as I just completely screw up in a myriad of different ways. So let's start a new game. What to call it? Let's see. I'm gonna go sandbox mode. Let's see what the options for flags. I'm gonna go with the NASA flag, because as you can see. And now, let's go! Yes, thank you. I've been through this before. Okay, so right to the vehicle assembly building. I'm just gonna start by building some very basic rockets and working my way out from there. Okay, first of all, I'm going to need a command pod, of course. Now, what to use for an engine? Let's see. I'm going to start with a single-stage solid fuel engine. Put some fins on here for some. That was a wing, not a fin. Do four-way wings? Four-way fins? Yeah, actually I think I'll go with a small wing. Yeah, there we go. That looks like everyone's first ever rocket ever. I should probably put a decoupler in here and parachute at the top, just so my Kerban doesn't die. Do some staging, okay, decouple there, then do a single burn, let's see what to call this. I know, real creative. Now, let's save and launch. Let's just see what we can do with just this one very basic one-stage rocket. Okay, turn on stability controls, and we have liftoff. Okay, so it's right now just going straight up. Let's see how high it will go, up to 3,000 meters, and we are currently moving at 500 meters per second. So this is and accelerating, so this is going real quickly, really fast. I'm noticing some exit burning. That can't be good. Let's see how high up. And we're just about to run out of solid fuel, so okay, lost. Burned up our fuel, and now we are just rocketing through space in a command module. Oh, we are officially in orbit. Okay, that's a little better than I was expecting, not gonna lie. But we are not in a stable orbit. Yeah, we're gonna splash down. Let's speed this up. Yep. Okay, so we've established a bit of a baseline here. Now we just have to wait for Jebediah Kerban here to okay, oh right, the opposite of exit burn is re-entry burn. So we're gonna have to do that now. Hopefully that parachute won't burn when it comes out to slow him down. Okay, that's good. Stop burning. And there's our parachute. Touchdown! We have touchdown! Okay, let's go back to the vehicle assembly station. Of course, if we're going to get to the moon, we're going to need a lot more power than just that. A single stage it gets us just into orbit, but we need more rocket, more Delta V to get us up to the moon. So let's see. We're going to need to add a second stage to this. Okay, first we're going to put some decouplers around the sides. One thing I've learned from just kind of messing about with is that more rockets means more stability. So just put a four-way decoupler there. Grab a couple smaller engines. Okay, maybe not that small. Something a little bigger. Actually get into speed. For stage, bring this whole assembly down. Let's see how this goes. And we have another liftoff. And we're going to turn on still test. Hold it. Make that worse. And we burned up our solid fuel. I think I did something wrong. Let's see how far we can get just this. Now let's just see how this goes. Something exploded. Okay. Well, let's see. Okay, so far we have demonstrated that when left to their own devices, the rockets move in just in parabolic arcs from one point on the planet's surface to the next, which is accurate. Let's see. But we're definitely going to need some more fine control to into proper orbit and eventually to the moon. So I'm going to as part of this stage, add a stabilizing component. One thing I have learned from watching videos of this game, you need some kind of power source to keep those stabilizers operational if you're going to be going too far out of the off planet. So I'm gonna throw on a couple. Before I do that, I'm going to add another stage. This one I'm going to use a liquid fuel tank. I think a small rocket to. There we go. Now, let's put this into space and see what it can do. 3, 2, 1, lift off. And there goes those. I get way too much joy out of when those engines blow up as they impact with each other. Now, let's see where we're at in terms of. Okay, I'm gonna start another burn. Okay, I'm gonna need some heat shields. That's something, because I feel like this could end up being a big problem if I don't do something about it. Okay, we are in orbit, so I'm going to disconnect this, and let's see if we can get this into a stable orbit. I'm going to add a maneuver on the apoapsis, and widen this out. Yep, adjust this a bit. Okay, that should put us into orbit. Am I going to have enough burn for this? I don't think I'm going to have enough burn. So if I reel this back in. Okay, don't have enough burn for this maneuver. Probably going to need a bigger engine. Okay, so one additional stage and a whole lot of staging errors later, I have a rocket that I think will be able to get us high enough into orbit that we can actually create an eccentric orbit without burning up all my fuel. No guarantee I'll be able to recover the astronaut later, but I think it's worth a shot. So, fast forwarding through the launch sequence. Okay, now let's throttle up and go a little further. Hopefully I have the delta V to get us up into high enough orbit that I'll be able to get into a full blend. It's confusing because they say you're in orbit even when you're at like this parabolic trajectory back down to Earth, but like I want to get up to like actual orbit where I fall so far forward that I miss the planet and keep falling around. Actually, I think I'll go until this engine is half out of fuel and see if I can actually use it to help get me into that maneuver. Or save me some fuel for the return trip. We have breached 100,000 meters above sea level, which I'd say that's a pretty great thing in my book. I'd say this is a good enough point to throttle down and start plotting maneuvers. So let's see, add a maneuver here, and widen out my trajectory. Not that. Nope, this. Look at that! I should have enough burn to get me up to that point. Oh, nope. Reposition myself to be to get into that position. And I think we are good to start burning. Just burn up, throttle up. Let's see how this trajectory goes. All right, can't can't warp up while the ship's accelerating. But still, you can see our trajectory is widening out. Hopefully that will eventually get to the point where we can get the true proper orbit. Let's throttle up a bit. I'm feeling lucky. Okay, 30 seconds left to burn. And that's it for that stage. Throttle up with this baby. 2019. Ooh, we're getting there. Almost. Just about there. And nice. Woohoo! We are officially in low Kerban orbit. If we speed up, you can see we go all the way around the planet. Hang on, I'm gonna remove the maneuver here. Oh, right. Gotta. Oh, okay. So we are in extremely low Kerban orbit here, so slow that I can't even. That's be difficult for me to speed up. But look, we are orbiting the planet, and we still have fuel left to set us back down on for our landing, which I think is okay. So it's a step in the right direction for our eventual moon launch. Ooh, but looks like we're getting some heat. Definitely gonna need to add some heat shield before next episode. Jebediah Kerban is so happy right now. He just loves being in space. And I'd like to get at least one full revolution in here before I have to set her back down. You know, because we need to get back to the Space Center eventually. Yeah, I never took it. In the meantime, ooh, this is, yeah. I never really took the time to notice, but Planet Kerban has some really interesting geography to it. It's Earth-like, but still very different. Like, you got the ice cap up here. And this looks a little bit like South America, and it looks like the Kerbal Space Center is somewhere in Africa. And we have this weird peninsula here, and there's no North America. I guess this is and we have a land bridge from this big America to where Europe would be on Earth. It's a really weird planet. But it is alien, so it kind of makes sense. Okay, we're back to a point where we can actually time warp up. Ooh. Yeah, you really go quick. So yeah, I'm gonna create a landing maneuver right now. So add a maneuver, reduce the orbit. Let's see. Let's try to splash down in the ocean, and look at that, we still have enough fuel to splash down. Yeah, we're doing good. Okay, now we're gonna get the rocket in position to land. Throttle up. Okay. We're slowing down, you can see the orbit shrinking. There, and look at that. We are set to splash down. So I'm going to just disengage now and drop the rocket into the ocean with it. I'm going to advance maneuver one bit and delete it. Okay, Okay, maybe this won't be a clean splashdown, because I'm just now seeing we are on a crash course for that little island off the coast. Yeah, well, degree of error, and who knows, maybe they'll... And I mean, we have the parachute anyway, so even if we crash on land, it won't be a huge deal. So I'm going to fast forward to the landing, and I'll see you then. Parachute's expanding, and we have slowed down to landing speed. So I'm going to call that a success. We have put a Kerban into orbit, got a full revolution out of it, and we have landed him safely. Or at least we are in position to land him safely. Hasn't officially splashed down yet. But I'm going to call that a success. So once Jebediah Kerban here splashes down, I'm going to say that's the end of the episode. So next time on Kerbal Space Program, I will be continuing my quest to reach the moon. I will make some adjustments to the rocket in the meantime. Next time I will play around with upgrading the engines a bit to hopefully get us closer to the moon and get us better orbits. And we'll make it there eventually, I'm sure. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Wow, he is really going slowly. Let's see, can I warp this up? Splashdown!